No.
Stop it!
Stop it there! I didn't even do anything. I didn't do anything.
All the time dealing with. He is such a... Because I single-handedly wrote him enough tickets that they made him a habitual offender.
Cops are considered saviors, but we never know when a good officer will turn out evil. Today, we'll be going through these cases where evil and tyrant pigs were caught on camera and humiliated for their actions. In November 20th, 22, Deputy Bean from the Klamath County Sheriff's Department was on his way to his friend when he saw Jason driving home. The officer and Jason had prior history, and knowing he had an expired license, the deputy pulled him over.
What are you doing?
Hospital?
Getting back from the hospital. Great. You're not supposed to be driving. You're not supposed to be driving. What? Yeah, I don't know. You have your ID?
What?
Do you have your ID?
Yeah, why?
Need to look at it.
What?
What?
Why?
Because you're in violation. ID and stuff. Go drive.
Jason even told the officer that he was returning home from the hospital. His father had suffered a stroke and was in critical condition. Despite his compulsion, the officer handed over a ticket to him. Things weren't too out of hand at this point, but what happened next will totally leave you in shock.
That guy's felony. Wayne Street. Oh, man, food's coming out.
Come on in.
Hey! No, I was on the way. I was just coming. I just was down here. No, I was at the mall, and I turned around. And here comes Jason Rohr. So I'm like, oh, that's too good to be true. I better greet him one more time. Oh, God, he's such a.
Jason Rohr.
Oh God, he is the biggest I think I've dealt with. All the time dealing with. He is such a dick. Yeah, when I was leaving, he had both fingers out the window, you know. Okay.
Deputy Bean forgot to turn off his body cam and was caught laughing at Jason's misery while boasting about how he enjoyed terrorizing him.
Oh, jeez.
He's such a... But you know what? He goes down, pays whatever. He goes down, probably pays $1,000 every time I give him a ticket. Because because I single-handedly wrote him enough tickets that they made him a habitual offender. So he actually has to show up every time I write him a ticket now. Because he used to just he'd be like, look, I don't care, Bean. He'd just throw it out the window or just throw it in the car. He's like, I don't care. And I just tag him. I don't know how much it's like, if you get them 6 times in 6 months for A violations,
Then they're
revoked. Habitual offender. It's always like, I don't care. I'll tag you tomorrow. So I tuned him up. Oh, he is. Yeah. So he was telling me old Red had a stroke.
Oh, really? It can happen to a nicer guy.
I don't know what everybody's going to do with their dope now. Yeah, old Red. Yeah, apparently that's what they said. Oh, we're just coming from the hospital. How am I supposed to get back and forth? Not my problem.
It's shocking and disheartening to see how these officers casually joked about his dad's condition and laughed at giving him tickets. According to court records, Deputy Bean had cited Jason 20 times, and at this point, it was all getting personal.
Problem. God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's got some new tattoos. He's got it must be a different gang or something he's in, but he's got the German red insignia on his hand now, and tats all over this hand, but they look like prison tattoos. They're really poor quality.
So somebody around here is probably doing it.
Yeah. Well, what's her name?
Probably with a dirty needle.
Meadows. Dana Meadows does tattoos.
Does she?
Yeah. And they're prison quality. I've seen a couple of hers.
Is that right?
The deputy was notified that his body cam was on and immediately turned it off. Deputy Bean's statements would be constitutionally protected, and there's not much that can be done about this. But this incident exposed his cruelty and evil nature. Here's another instance of a cop forgetting his body cam was on, but this time he was on duty and did something worse.
No.
On April 21st, 2020, officers from the Monroe Police Department contacted Timothy Williams in response to an alarm call. As the officers searched the suspect, he became afraid and started running. However, he soon realized that he couldn't outrun the cops, so he decided to stop. One of the officers got control of the situation, but just right then, Officer Jared Desadier did something shocking.
Stop! You're gonna get up! Get on the ground now! Stay on the ground! Do not move! Do you understand?
Are you there?
No.
We got it.
Stand by. Hang on. Stop! Put your hand behind your back. We're over here by Rockland Squad. Detention. In custody.
Officer Jared's actions weren't any less of an animal as he completely violated his rights and brutally attacked him. Seeing this, the first officer exited the scene as Williams continued screaming.
Is this the same guy we got off the tower? No, sir. Dispatch, you can release the channel.
1071, channel 1, dispatch clear, 2327.
Let me secure my unit. Go ahead.
No.
I was sitting right over there. He had a toy going on there. I'll tell you in a second. Check up, right here. You got some?
213 dispatch, I want to be out with Officer Rocco real quick. Ciao.
I'm gonna pull around there.
Williams was arrested and taken to the police station. However, things got bad for the evil cop pretty soon as he was fired from the police department shortly after. Not only this, but he was also criminally charged and later pled guilty to a charge of deprivation of rights under the color of law. He was sentenced to a maximum of 10 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. This officer surely got the ending he deserved, but this next evil cop got served with some quick karma.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
On December 9th, 2022, Elmira police officers, including the police chief, Anthony Alvarez, were dispatched to a location after multiple 911 hangups. Just as the officers were arriving, a guy jumped out of the window and attempted to flee. That's when the cops did something shocking.
Get on the ground! Get on your stomach! Get on your stomach!
I didn't even do anything. I didn't do anything. Okay. Why are you detaining me?
Oh, you ain't detained, brother. You're on arrest.
Why? What did I do?
You tell me. I didn't do anything. I got legs. You jumped, by the way. I don't know how the hell you cleared that car. Thanks. It was really impressive. Well, I want to be an officer.
You okay?
No.
What's wrong? Come up on your side. It's easy to breathe. Kick that leg out for me right there.
Don't move that leg.
Well, it's easy to breathe if you stay that way, okay? What's wrong? What happened?
I don't know why you guys came to my house.
Keep getting
I got
911
cord. I never called 911. I'm sick. I don't feel good.
911 calls from there.
Well, I don't know how. I never called.
Chief Alvarez placed his knee on his back before aiding and handcuffing him. Soon, the officers realized he had not done anything wrong, but they continued with the arrest.
When I was running.
Nathaniel,
600 block of Riverside. Daniel Jenkins is an officer safety on the subject. Black male, medium, light
I
hair,
think I want to pass out.
black hoodie,
Just keep breathing, man.
gray pants.
We got him. I was gonna say he's the only one, right? Yeah.
What did I do?
I don't know, Nathaniel. I just got here, man.
Where you at?
Is that why y'all came to detain me? I remember you.
Came to talk to you. We kept, like I said, we kept getting 911 calls, so we came to talk to you. And you were screaming at the one officer through the door, so they don't know what's going on.
I wasn't screaming. I asked him who it was.
Well, I believe you told him to fuck off, is what I think you said.
Oh, no.
Anything like spice or anything like that? Anything? Okay. Just so anything that might, put you into trauma or anything, make you go into arrest or anything. Do you want to stand up? Yeah? Want to sit on your butt for me? Sit up right there.
No, I didn't even do nothing.
You ready, Nick? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Your foot okay? See a cut there.
No, it's not okay.
One out back to watch the back road.
That's nothing there, just the drawers on.
Yeah.
Lift your hands back, hands up for me a little bit.
Got me to shit myself again.
You shit yourself?
Yes, because I got stomach problems.
Let go of your hands there a little bit for me.
Despite his illness, the officers proceeded to make him sit in the back of the police cruiser, as they were still unsure about what was happening.
I'm home now since I didn't do nothing.
I don't know what we're going to do with you. I mean, we're going to take a seat in here. Do you want an ambulance or anything? You want me to come look at you?
Oh, no.
You sure?
I just want to do touch.
Come on this side of the door.
I was scared, that's why I ran.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent.
No need to run, man.
Yeah, huh? Because you guys, I don't know what you guys are going to do.
I'll put this. We want to make sure you're okay. That's what we want to do.
But I've seen so many videos and you guys had your guns out, so I ran.
Can I see your foot?
Yes.
Hey, his stuff is going to be in your door pocket right here.
Here, I'll just throw it in my
Come on,
pocket.
please get that back, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah. Just the back.
The cops released him shortly after, and although this arrest was vicious and uncalled for, this wasn't the reason for Chief's downfall. However, an internal investigation was launched into this case, and Chief Alvarez acted casually. Seeing this, City Manager Michael Collins and Mayor Dan Mandel issued a joint statement saying Alvarez acted unprofessionally, and he was eventually fired from his position. Moving on, we'll be going through this case where a deputy was caught and interrogated for his actions.
I didn't say anything like that. I never made any comment about taking anybody down.
Greenville County Sheriff's Deputy William Lewis submitted a transfer request, unaware that it would land him in hot water and lead to an interrogation for misconduct. The detective began with a different accusation. In 2011, a former deputy named Scott applied to the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, but wasn't hired. Investigators suspected that Lewis had something to do with it.
It was brought to us by Captain Brown. It was initially just going to be taken care of by him, and then as it went up the ladder, they ended up to look into it. Alright. Apparently Scotty Mendenhall was being interviewed and trying to get hired on at Anderson.
Okay.
Did you at some point speak to somebody in Anderson, a deputy or major?
A major.
Talk to him about Scotty, about his, I don't know if it was personal stuff or about work or what. Can you kind of brief me on what happened with that whole thing?
What happened is I got a call from, I don't remember what day it was, we were on third shift. And I remember where I was parked at. I was parked outside of Kingsgate subdivision on Batesville Road. I got a call asking me from Stan Whitten, telling me Scotty was going to apply over in Anderson County. I used to fish with a guy over there, pretty good friends, and Gary Bryant, he's a major, and I called Gary and I said, man, this guy's coming over to apply for a job with y'all. And like I said, this was a request to Stan Whitten. I said, man, I said, got a guy coming over here to apply with y'all. I said, his name is, I may have told him his name was Scotty. I can't remember. I said,
Stan told you to call the major or something, or told
Stan said that he was going to call, or Stan said, asked me if I'd call over here and put in a word for Scotty.
Just for the record, you didn't say anything negative about Scotty.
No, I did not say anything negative about Scotty. I mean, those are.
So your point in calling was to assist him or help him get a job there?
No.
Or kind of?
I wouldn't even go that far.
Okay.
My point was to call over there because Stan asked me to call over here and talk to Gary.
Okay.
So I did. I did not ever at any point tell Gary that he was a great guy, he needed to hire him. I didn't tell him he was a shitbag and needed not to be hired. I didn't tell him one way or another.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that I called over there to get him a job. I did what,
Lewis claimed that he had nothing to do with Scott, and he may have complained against him because they were never good friends and often had problems with each other. Shortly after, the detective shifted focus to the main issue, Lewis's transfer request.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this right here is, you may see a little fire in my eyes in this one because this is a little bit personal.
Okay.
When I was at GTI, I got a text message from somebody on the road that said, "Hey man, we're glad you're coming over." Okay, where am I coming? Heard they announced in roll call today that you were coming on our side of that. Okay, great.
And this is timeout just for a time frame. This is just after the Bravo crap was over with.
I don't even know if it was over because I was at GTI. I have no idea what was going on.
Okay.
This was when I had to send you some supplemental from something from a year and a half
from
ago.
The older guy that did that,
exactly. Called Captain, and I said, heard I've been transferred. And he said, no, Captain. And I said, heard. He said, yeah, we're moving you to Echo temporarily until we can figure out what's going on. I said, all right, that's fine. We'll stop that part of the story right there.
Okay.
In February of this year, Doug Bortone and I started the process of trying to get me switched over to Echo. Amy's school schedule, we knew it was coming. We knew ahead of time it was coming. The kids have been accepted into different schools, special schools. We knew all of these issues were going to arise. The schools have become more demanding. We had advance notice that there was going to be some issues if she had the kids at school before a certain time or after a certain time. So we kind of knew that this thing was coming. Come on, let's go talk to them. So we went and talked to Lieutenant Ridgway. Ridgway said, we'll see what we can do. I'll put it out to my guys and see if anybody wants to transfer. Nobody wanted to transfer off of Echo. That's fine. I said, well, over the course of the next several months, I said, whenever. I said, I'm giving you advance notice. I said, because August is when the school year is going to start. I said, so I'm going to need something in place by August. Okay, great. He said, 6-7 months notice. This is perfect time.
It appeared Lewis followed protocol and handed in a request on time. He only wanted to move because of his family, but surprisingly, the police department saw a problem.
That schedule's not going to work for me. I said, I need this where I'm guaranteed that I'm going to be off in the morning when the kids, even if it's only for 4 hours sleep, 4.5 hours sleep, I'll come home and take a nap. As long as I can be there to make sure that the kids go somewhere, that during the daytime, if they're sick, I can stay home with them. Amy can split her class in the afternoon and still get a full day's work in. She's been there all day. So, everything was kind of in line there. I said, I'm going to need investigations. I said, I need the Echo hours. I said, if I need to, I said, I can take a voluntary demotion to do that. He said, okay. That process continued on. To my knowledge, nothing was ever put in paper. While I'm driving the Echo car, I get a call at SWAT Tuesday afternoon when I was leaving the SWAT training, probably 4 o'clock or so. I get a message from Dave. Give me a call. All right. Called him. I said, what's up? He said, man, I'm looking forward to you coming in tomorrow. I said, for what? He said, for Charlton. I said, first time I heard about this. And he said, well, you've been assigned to my platoon. Okay. I said, well, I'm not going to be able to come in the morning. I said, because I was planning on working Echo hours, so I have to be available to take care of whatever the situation is with the kids. He said, well, that's fine. Take tomorrow off and we'll talk about it on Thursday. It's hard for a mom with 3 kids working full time to try to handle the kids and do everything. So I said, I told the captain, I said, listen, I said, my legacy's not here. I said, it's at home. I said, when I walk out the door, I said, nobody's going to remember me 2 weeks after I leave, whether it's as a major or a master deputy or a deputy too. I said, but, my family's going to know me forever. The captain said, the major's aware, this has been approved and all that.
Okay.
So the captain said, all right, well, I'm going to call down to
Sally.
I'm going to call down to Sally, and I'll have the personnel order cut. I said, okay, great. So I walk out, and on my way out, and the captain says, no, the sheriff's got an open door policy. If you want to go sit down and talk to him, you can. And I said, well, it's not. If he's already approved it, I'm thinking, why am I even, no offense.
And to this point, sorry, but I just want to be clear. To this point, you haven't talked to the sheriff directly about any of this?
Nope.
Okay. And when did you talk to roll call about saying that you were leaving?
That was that morning when I turned in my letter. Damon Hubbard and I talked about it the day before, and he said, do you want me to say something, or do you want to say something? I said, no, I would rather address them and tell that this is what's going to happen.
As we delved into the interrogation, it appeared that the sheriff's office was in the wrong. Deputy Lewis was just trying to be home with his kids, but the department kept giving him problems.
He said, everything's going to be taken care of on Monday. He said, we're going to move. He said, your situation will be resolved, and we'll have you where you need to be on the 17th of October. He said the new pay period is what he initially said. And I said, you mean Monday? And he said, no, not Monday. The following pay period is 17th. And I said, okay. And just to let you know, I've never kept up with pay periods in 15 years. That's how I've been able to keep up with pay periods for the last couple of months. He said he was going to take care of everything, and I would be where I needed to be on the 17th, or to be taken care of, and I would be where I needed to be on the 17th. I may be paraphrasing, I don't know if that's a quote, but something along those lines. I was under the impression that I would be wherever he wanted me to be put by the 17th.
Meaning Echo, because that's what you needed, or?
But never at any point did he ever say he was going to put me on Echo. Never at any point did anybody say that I would go to Echo. I asked to go to Echo, and we were trying to get me to Echo. And I'll let Lieutenant Hubbard tell you all of the stuff that he said about trying to get all the details he arranged about trying to get me over to Echo without me losing a strike. I don't know what all he did, but he worked his. He said, you need to make arrangements to pick up an Echo car. And I said, okay. So, knowing that no personnel order had been cut, knowing that nothing had been in writing, I said, all right. He said, you need to call Sergeant Silver and get a car. Well, pretty sure how this conversation was going to go with Sergeant Silver. So I made it a point to make the phone call from a recorded line, which was the Adam platoon desk on the far end.
Do you know what you remember?
We had all talked about going to breakfast, but we got really busy that night.
The whole, where were you working?
Just the west side.
Just the west side.
We'd all talked about going to breakfast, but I ended up late. Calmon ended up late. A couple other guys ended up high on the call up in 10.
That's what it's time to get off.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. So we were all kind of a scattered bunch. I sent out a message off the MDT, hey guys, we're not gonna be able to make it this morning late, whatever. Thanks for everything, and that was it. I appreciate it anyway. A couple of guys didn't get the message, and I got a phone call about 7:45. Hey, we're sitting over here. Where are you? I'm like, I'm on the way, guys. So I went over and tightened my cage up.
The detective tried to pressure Deputy Lewis, but this only agitated him, leading him to speak out against the department and its corrupt policy.
Well, you want the flat-out truth? I'll tell you the flat-out truth. I got railroaded, period. If you don't talk about anything at all, people will make up their own shit. I choose to keep my mouth shut about it. Mendenhall, I keep my mouth shut about whatever's going on with Bravo. You don't say anything, people are going to talk shit. Eventually, people are going to start listening to what's being talked. And I'm tired of getting the sideways look that I'm the cause or reason of Bravo platoons. The whole investigation. That's what was said. That I was the cause. Then it got out that I was the one who spread the rumors about Cheryl Cromartie and Billy Brewer. That whole thing came out that I spread all these. That's bullshit. That is not true. That is not what happened. I can tell you where it started. I can tell you how it started. I can tell you how it ended up. And I can probably tell you who spread that rumor. But it was not me. But when my face is not present, there was no sergeant, there was no lieutenant, and nobody gave a shit. So complaints were filed, statements were made, things were written, they all just magically disappeared and vanished. Nobody fucking knows. But at the end of the whole thing, I'm labeled the troublemaker. I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one that gets transferred. That's.
You asked to leave Bravo?
No. The only time I asked to leave Bravo was when I asked to go to.
Right.
If they had left me on Bravo, I'd have been fine.
See, I came in here at the very end of the Bravo thing, so I didn't.
Yeah, whatever, it'll be taken care of. I'll get you where you need to be. Something to that effect. I don't know Exactly.
He didn't say you're going to start on Echo on
He
Saturday.
did not tell me I was going to start on that gun on Saturday. No, he did not.
Back to the Sergeant Lang issue. And like I said, he was not the complainant by any means. This came up during some other parts of this when we were asking about the whole other stuff. Is there a deal between, or did you think there was some investigation going on or something? Or do you, I mean, we've already talked about how you feel and y'all's deal, you and Sergeant Lang. There's no history, but y'all not going to exactly go have a beer together. Is there an issue with Dallas, Sergeant Lang, at all?
Absolutely not.
Lewis explained to the detective that none of the higher-ups knew about his transfer request, and he believed that the department had hard done him.
Have you ever said anything about taking Sergeant Lang down and taking Dallas with you?
Hell no. This is some bull. I didn't say anything like that. I never made any comment about taking anybody down.
There, about, like, when all this started. in the whole-
Physically or like
No. Like, in here.
Hell no.
Like, if something were to happen to where you go...
Now it makes sense.
Or get...
Now it makes sense. I got a phone call the other day. Some dude was running his mouth that I had been in OPS for 2 days, writing statements on people.
Who said that?
Some kid on the fucking south end. I don't even know who it is.
Okay.
Now,
You talking about
yeah. Now I know. Now it's starting to make sense. Now I'm digging. All right. Now I know where that came from. Now, okay, go ahead. I said, when they came back and told me about it, what the conversation entailed, I told them, I said, listen, I don't agree with what they're telling you. I said, but you do what your sergeant tells you to do. This is my opinion, but I'm telling you, do what your sergeant tells you to do. Matter of fact, it's been just the opposite.
And I know that
That's
this is
bullshit.
the whole reason you've been frustrated, obviously, since you told us now that was why you've been not happy around here. And this is the kind of crap you're talking about, and I understand.
This is
I
kind of
understand
bullshit.
that. And
Bullshit.
just to clear,
You don't have to know.
just to clear the record, it was not Dallas. Dallas has no problem with you whatsoever on this earth. You know them. He would hardly say a bad word about anybody in this whole world.
I ain't got a problem with Dallas. See, I ain't got a problem with him.
Lewis was frustrated by everything that had occurred earlier, and it was evident that the Greenville County Sheriff's Office is one of the worst out there, as they can't resolve simple situations.
It was, I called him one morning and I said, listen, I said, I'm going to have to go home early. I said, because the kids are sick. I said, Amy's sick. I said, I'm going to have to get home. She's got to go in and put sub-plans in place, and she had to be at the school at like 6:30 to do that. So I had to leave at like 6:15. I went home, and then other arrangements were made. Somebody could watch the kids that morning, just briefly. So I picked up the phone and called him. I said, listen, man, I said, I don't need to go home this morning. It's covered. And he said, are you sure? He said, because if you need to go, you need to go. And I was shocked that he was like, yeah, take care of what you need to take
Well, they've
care
all
of.
told us that during this, and to clear it for you, obviously we can't get specifics, but nobody on your shift.
How many people come up in here and sit down with 15 fucking years experience? And you got captains and everybody else looking down saying, well, you know what, we don't have enough tasking, so you go ask the fuck. Come ask me. I will tell you what happened. I have never sat in this room or any other room in this agency and lied to anybody about anything that has ever happened, and I'll be damned if I'm going to start now.
The main thing that was brought to our attention initially was this whole, the Scotty thing first, and then how you ended up getting almost transferred, but not really when there wasn't a personnel order and all that. So that's what came to us initially.
We'll wait till the end of this investigation, and once everything's cleared, then I'll make whatever decisions I need to make. This is...
And you know, it's just Laura's job to unscrew
I'm not mad at anybody in this room. You got to do what you got to do.
And I don't want you to be at Sergeant Lang. Sergeant Lang spoke to us here to talk to him because his name, he was not the complainant.
I don't talk to Sergeant Lane now. I'm not talking to him later on. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't have to talk to him, and he doesn't have to talk to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, we're not. I mean, this is.
It's just allegation when it went all boiled down to it, and I know it sucks. Let's take just a quick break. So,
Take a potty break from you.
yeah, you may take a potty break. We'll call who needs to call, and then we'll get you out of here.
You good?
Yeah, let me go get the phone in my car.
All right, you're cool. You sure you good?
While the interrogation didn't reach any conclusive finding, it exposed just how corrupt and dysfunctional the sheriff's office is. Internal politics are far more troubling than anyone could imagine. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we expose some of the most corrupt police officers, including a deputy who enjoyed handing out tickets and laughed at people's misery. This video highlights how these bad cops can be found in every department and why they must receive the punishment they deserve. If you agree with me, please consider showing your support by liking this video, and also make sure to subscribe to stay informed about future cases like these. Also, if you enjoyed this video, check out the next video here.